lads. So we've been told that we have to do an intro for the... What are we doing again?
I think it's a podcast, isn't it?
Oh, it's a podcast. So we're going to have to like introduce ourselves and tell them who we are, aren't we? So like, how'd that even go? Like,
alright, lad, I'm Kyle.
Alright, okay. Well, I guess I'm Antony, and we're from White Youth Club, and we're going to do a podcast for you guys.
It's going to be half an hour of us just chatting absolute bubbles and having a laugh. It's all improvised.
Yeah. And I suppose we don't really have a name for this just yet, so...
No, we'll have to work on that.
Yeah, so we'll just wait and see what happens.
Yeah, man, let's go. Right, so like, where do we start? You know what? Actually, I quite like food. Everyone likes food, don't they?
Oh yeah.
What is your go-to favourite meal?
My go-to favourite meal?
Yes, yeah.
Cheesy beans on toast with fried eggs.
Oh, you absolute stunner. What a meal. No fried eggs, though. The only eggs I'll eat is scrambled, right?
Fried eggs, one.
Poached eggs, no, I'm not a fan. I enjoy cooking poached eggs. But just cheesy beans on toast.
It's ultimate survival food. Anyone can make it. You know, crack the can in the microwave. Not the can in the microwave, obviously.
Ooh.
But, you know, put it into
anything but
a suitable container, like a Pyrex Pyrex jar, glass jar, and then nuke it for a little bit, and then maybe even grate the cheese into the beans, and then put it in the microwave. Yes. You know, prior.
Bit of paprika in the beans as well.
Mate, whatever you want.
That's what they do at KFC, isn't it? They have special KFC barbecue beans.
Yeah, paprika. Yeah.
They were air speech marks for people who can't see. You stick a little bit of paprika, and this is a top tip, right? Bit of paprika in your beans, and then stick them in the microwave. Stunning, mate. Absolutely stunning. Nice smoky barbecue beans. If you get sweet paprika, it's not even a smoky taste. It's just a warming taste. But smoky paprika is the best.
Yeah. It's ultimate comfort food, isn't it? You know what I mean?
True.
Yeah, like bad weather, you know, winter.
Many a night after coming from outreach, we've been in the rain all night on outreach.
Straight beans on toast.
Can't be bothered cooking as well. It's an easy. You stick 2 pieces of toast in the oven.
Well, you can do it on the grill.
You can in the grill. In the toaster. 3 minutes of the beans in the microwave. Bit of cheese. You have your entire meal ready in less than 5 minutes.
Yeah, 100%. Bit of salt and pepper on. You know what I mean?
Gorgeous.
Yeah, bit of sauce, whatever you want. But yeah. That would be my like go-to, you know, like dish.
Yeah, to be fair, I'd have to go for myself. It's like a chicken and cashew nut with noodles. Obviously, I don't have the cashew nuts, but it's chicken. It's like a Chinese meal, right? Chicken with garlic, onion, mixed peppers, beans, noodles, oyster sauce, sweet soy sauce, regular soy sauce, fish sauce.
And he's not reading this off a list either.
No. It was what I used to make all the time. It was one of the most popular things when I was working in restaurants to make, because it's something you'd buy from a Chinese, but it was a healthy version because I worked in a healthy nutrition kitchen. Yeah. It's gorgeous, mate. Really quite easy. You can do it in under 15 minutes. Although that'd be my go-to thing to cook. What's your favourite country's food? Like country cuisine known for?
Mexican food. I love Mexican food.
Yes.
I love quesadillas, chilies, and mate, all of them. You know, I love cheesy nachos. I love everything about Mexico. I struggle to think of Mexican food then.
Yeah.
No, but how about you, man? What's your...
Mine, no question, Italian food. Because not just the pizzas.
So carbs.
Yeah, carbs. Pure carb central. But it tastes good.
Yeah, it does.
There's nothing bad. Like, obviously, you've got pizza, but it's not just the pizza. How good the pasta is. Fresh pasta is unreal.
I've been lucky enough, fortunate enough to have an Italian pizza from Italy. In Italy, I was in Rome. Unfortunately, I was going through a vegan phase, so it was probably a sin to go to Rome and ask for a vegan friendly pizza.
Disgraceful.
So it was literally just bread.
I can only imagine their face when you said that.
Yeah,
like, you know what?
It was like, yeah, no, we can do that, but are you sure? You know what I mean? Like,
you are butchering our cuisine.
Actually insulting us by like not having any cheese on this. So but I see where you're coming from, man. I see where you're coming from.
Yeah, no, Italian food is so diverse. When I went to Italy, right, I went to Milan.
Yeah.
And one of the places there, I was like, yeah, can I have a cheesy garlic bread to start? And they were like, what? I was like, cheesy garlic bread? And they were like, you what? So I ended up having to explain it to them, like what a cheesy garlic bread was. You know, you got your bread, and you get your garlic butter and a piece of garlic and you put cheese on top. Doesn't sound that hard. Their best attempt, honestly, was a margherita pizza with pieces of garlic on top.
Doesn't translate over into Italian well, does it?
Garlic. I thought cheesy garlic bread was like a proper Italian dish. It mustn't be.
It must be just British. It must be. It's Italian, but we made it. You know what I mean?
Well, like chicken tikka masala.
Yeah. It's dead Scottish, that. You know.
Yeah, it's Scottish. It's not Indian at all, is it? Indian. That's some other good food.
Yeah. Oh,
Speaking of Indian food, I once went to a pub before the rugby, and we were just getting some scran.
Yeah.
And my pal orders this Indian, and he's like, Vindaloo, that's not that hot. That's not that hot. I'm like, you absolute muppet. You're having that.
He's going for man points, isn't he?
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Because there was a big group of us, a couple of us, like, we know each other, but we're not like busy mates, you know. Yeah. So it's still like, it's like ordering extra hot with cheeky Nando's day.
Yeah.
It's going on cheeky Nando's day.
Impress people.
And you're like,
No.
But anyway, he ordered this, and that wasn't even the craziest thing. I ordered a cheese and bacon burger. Easy. Standard pub grub. Yeah. Standard pub grub. Can't go wrong, can you, right? So, you know, we're waiting. It's not very busy, this pub. And we're waiting. It's over 45 minutes. Best part of an hour now. It's near enough an hour. Now, I've worked in catering. I've worked in catering for quite a while, so I know what happens. It gets busy, you get things underdone. But I also know that tickets are very, very easily lost. And it falls off the rack and your food is never made. So I know both sides of it. So I just mentioned to the waitress, I'm like, love. So is our food on its way? And she was like, yeah, of course, yeah. And then about 5 minutes later, she brings out my pal's Vindaloo. She brings out everybody else's, and mine's the last one to come. And she puts it down. She's like, can I get you anything else? And I kid you not, I look down at my plate, and I've got my seasoned fries, sweet potato fries, seasoned sweet potato fries. I've got my side salad. She even remembered my little pot of ketchup I asked for, right? And then I look at my burger, or lack of. It was the bottom of a bun, a giant leaf of lettuce, and the top of a bun.
Did she mistaken you for being a vegan?
I don't know, mate. But the top of the bun wasn't even on it, and I looked at her, I was like, yeah, you can get me some else. Can I have a burger, please? And she looks at it and she's like, oh, no. Oh, it's sheer embarrassment. Sure. And I saw the funny side. She brings it out like, a few minutes later, and it's got the tomato, the cheese, the bacon.
Yeah.
And luckily enough, the beef patty was there as well.
You never lived that down. When I first left school, I picked up a job waiting on in a restaurant in Widnes, and I remember a lady coming up to me, you know, and to complain about the food, and I was only been there a couple of months, and she went, excuse me, there's a caterpillar on my burger. I looked at her like, hey love, I know this joke, you know what I mean? And she went no, come over. So I went over to the table. I remember it now. I remember seeing it. It was a big burger. She took a bite out of it. It was like a big lettuce leaf.
No.
And then it was a caterpillar just munching away on it. And I really wanted to say, like, don't worry, love, he doesn't eat much. You know what I mean? Just eat around him. But it was a sense. Around a sense of tone. She wasn't ready for jokes. And I returned it to the kitchen. But the chefs thought I was taking the mick out of them. You know, like there never is. And I had to went in and showing them and that. But yeah, you never lived that down. It's quite embarrassing, you know, because then you feel like personally responsible for messing. So you don't play with people's food. You don't mess about with people's food. Nah. So I couldn't really look at her in the eye when when I brought the food out again. But yeah.
So like obviously you've got places like South America and Australia, but everything there, like everything wants to kill you. But you got spiders and the crows in Australia peck on your head. You cycle through parks and they fly down, they peck your head. That's mad. That. So if the crows want to kill you, what else wants to kill you? They've got like crocodiles and that. Nah, not about that, mate. South America is sick. You see all the culture and it's like a new world around there. But like they're mad. But they eat weird things like guinea pigs and that there, don't they?
Right. Asia's not much better, is it? You know what I mean?
No, it's not. They've got like tigers and that, haven't they?
Yeah.
Africa's got lions.
I feel like we're saying it's Europe. Is there?
You got North America. I quite like the idea of Canada. That's like an improved England, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, Canada.
But then it's really, really cold. And like, I love England. I love where I'm from. when you think of Europe, you think of like France and Germany and England. But then there's places in Europe like Slovenia.
Yeah, it's like, well,
it's like, oh.
I've never even Google imaged Slovenia, so I have no idea what I'm getting myself in.
You got places like Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Yeah.
Or however you say it.
Yeah.
Herzegovina. Someone will tell me the right answer. But you got places like that, and mate, literally 30 years ago they had a civil war. They had a war between like the Yugoslavian war. And mate, to be honest, you think 34 years ago, the 80s, that was ages ago. It wasn't that long ago.
Not long enough.
Not long enough.
Not long enough. No.
Like Edin Dzeko, he grew up in the Yugoslavian war, and he's a footballer now. So that makes you think like it really wasn't that long ago. No.
I feel like we're saying that like a bit sheltered, aren't we? Growing up in
we are, yeah, we are. As sick as Antarctica would be, because like the penguins and that. That is it. That's all that's there. You got some penguins, maybe the odd sea lion and that.
Yeah.
I'd love to go. I want to go someday, but I don't think I'd live there just because it's brass as anything.
Well, no, there's actual Antarcticans now. People that are born on like the continent of. Is it a continent?
Yeah, it's a continent.
It's a continent. Yeah, Antarctica, because the scientists obviously live there. Like
the Arctic's not a continent because that's just made of ice.
Yeah,
Antarctica's land underneath, so it's a continent.
Yeah, well, imagine that being able to say like, yeah, Antarctican. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't live there.
Hey.
No one can own it.
Hey, where's your passport from? Antarctica, pal.
Yeah,
like, what colour do you reckon their passport? Do you reckon it'd be white?
Well, yeah, with a penguin on it.
What's their national animal?
It'd have to be an emperor penguin, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it'd have to be.
It couldn't be anything else. It could be an iceberg. You know what I mean? It'd have to be a penguin or something.
Do you reckon for Eurovision they just send the cast of Happy Feet on? Just tapping away.
Yeah, man.
Because to be fair, they probably could compete in Eurovision.
Well,
Australia can't.
If Australia can.
Anyone can.
Then why not? Why not Antarctica?
Yeah. In England, there's films of like you see people on TV and that it's like kidnapped and that. And I did an escape room in Wigan actually. And spoiler alert, if you're going to do it, skip ahead a minute or two because it's a very good escape room. I recommend it. But I did one in Wigan. It was called Kidnapped, right? And I did it with a few of my pals. And because of it was only a few weeks ago, because of COVID and that, we had to put our addresses in and put our phone numbers in, track and trace and that standard. And now I thought it was just track and tracing, but I don't know if they'd have done this anyway. So we did it, and we got through first room, we got into the second room, and we did that, and then we got into the third room because it's like this one. It's like so you have some puzzles, and then you get into you find the house, the apartment of the killer, the kidnapper, and then from there you then go on to do all these clues, and then you find his secret murder room thing, right? Okay. And then you go through there, but you open the door, you have to crawl through it, and you're in a cage, and you have to get out the cage, and then you're in this room, it's dead poorly lit, and it's really good, setting the scene anyway. But then there's this notice board, and there's magazine articles around the room, because you have to identify him, you have to get his eye colour, and his height, and, all things like that. But then on this wall, they've genuinely gone on Google Images, and they've found me, and all my friends from the briefing. There's a picture of us all saying that our next victims, but they've gone on Google Maps, lad. They have gone on Google Maps, found my gaff at home, and taken pictures of it. And my head is absolutely blown, lad. I'm 40 minutes into an escape room, finding a killer in that, and then there's my house on some board. I'm like, how have they done this? This is dodgy. This.
Do you know what I like, mate? I like the fact that someone's had to sit there and look for your house on Google Maps. Someone you've never met before, someone that's got no ties to you, will never ever meet you again probably. I just had to Google your address, find you, and took a picture of your house.
Mate, it was mad.
So, that's weird. That's like a peep in Tom. That it's a bit weird. That.
Mate, it was West. Mate, I saw it. I was like, nah, this is. Yeah. I want out of here. Nah. I've done some good escape rooms, but that was probably one of my favourites. If anything, it was encouragement because I solved them clues like I've never solved clues before. I was off skis, mate.
Incentive.
I was off skis. I didn't get killed by no murderer.
Yeah. By the way, can you just clear your internet search history because you appear to have my postcode on you?
Literally, I was like, whoa. And fair play to Wigan. That was one of the best escape rooms I have ever done.
Love it, man. Love it.
Just looking at your haircut, right? It's always proper trim. I like it. It's always dead tidy, right? So I've got a question for you, right? Okay, would you rather, right, be responsible for cutting your own hair how you want it, or would you rather your best mate have a go, right?
Oh.
But he can do whatever he wants.
Oh, okay, right. So I get my hair cut religiously every two to 3 weeks, like religiously. Same guy does it every time. Finish work on a Saturday, go get my hair cut.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, I don't like my hair being messy. I've always taken pride in my hair. Walking around high school, always carried a comb with me. If anyone from high school's listening to this, carried a comb in my blazer pocket. I was known for it. But then again, back when I was in high school, I had a Justin Bieber trim. Ooh. So a comb was a necessity.
It's all fashion, all style back then.
Exactly, wasn't it? It was that mop head, like.
Whether you like to admit it, yeah.
Yeah, you flick your head.
Give yourself whiplash.
Yeah. And all of a sudden you're singing baby, baby, baby.
Yeah.
So like, I've always taken pride in my hair, right? So, but then you've got the idea of, could I do a job on my own hair? No. I struggle doing my own beard, lad. I struggle shaving my own beard.
That's why you have a beard, so you don't have to.
Exactly, yes. Because it's either really short or you actually have a beard. The in-between bit's difficult. Yeah. I went through the in-between bit, I've done that, so now I just don't shave it all off.
I don't have to, I don't want to go back to it.
No. I've been through that stage now. I've just got a beard for the rest of my life. I'm dealing with it. But I struggle with my own beard. So my hair, that'd be... I don't know, what would you do?
Well, would I let my mates cut it? When they can decide whatever they want, you know what I mean? I'd end up with like a reverse back and sides, wouldn't I? Like
your gorgeous locks as well.
Yeah. Number 1 on the top and like an 8 on the sides or something. You know what I mean? Yeah, definitely. I'd look like a patchwork quilt. So I don't know, but I reckon if you got in the mirror, the right angle, you could have a good crack at like cutting your hair. Like, I mean, but going back to high school, a long time ago, I was a skinhead all the way through. Like number 1, no guard on. Yeah. Like guard completely off because I couldn't really afford to go to barbers and that. So my mum would go, "Come here, son. I've got, I can give you your hand." She'd cram the razor to the back of my head and shave all my hair off and that. So I went from like reception right the way through to year 11, skinhead. I never had nits, so that's like, you know what I mean. If you could take anything from it, you know what I mean.
You never got a lollipop after your hair.
Well, that's it. Never got chewy stuff in my hair or anything like that because I had nowhere to. Yeah, proper skinhead. I got to year 11, and that's when you start that's when I started to notice myself, wanted to look after myself and that, and started to take notice of other people and what they were doing and trying to follow trends and that. And I decided what, I've been a skinhead all my life, so I'm gonna try grow my hair out. So when you've had a number 1 all your life, when you start growing your hair out, you go through so many awkward stages you've never gone through before. So I decided. I just left school. I said, first time ever, I was gonna go get my hair cut properly. And I remember trying a few different hairdressers and barbers, but I never got what I was looking for, and I ended up with a particularly bad haircut. I remember is it The Only Way is Essex? Towie. Yeah. I think it was that, and that was big on the scene at the time, and all the Joey Essex and all that. They had proper killer short back and sides and a nice fade, and it all slipped back, and I thought, do you know what, I'm gonna do that. My hair was getting long enough, so I went to my local hairdresser, and it was like a living room.
Fake tan as well, yeah.
Yeah, I might as well. So anyway, I walked up to this little hairdresser's. It was like someone's little house in Off Green, and I popped in and said, could you make me look pretty and that? And she went, yeah, sure, love, come on in. What could I do you for? And I went, well, I've seen these lads on TV, and you've got a short back and sides, it long on top, and it's combed back and that. And I quite like that. And she went, oh, I know what you mean. I know how they wear it. So she started cutting me hair. And she must have seen a look of worry in my face, because she started to reassure me. She was like, oh, that's how they wear it. They wear it like a beret. I was like, what do you mean you wear it like a beret? She said, yeah, because it's short back and sides, but the long bit on the top, it isn't exactly on the top. It's slightly off to one side. And me, this is my first haircut at a hairdresser. I didn't know what to say. I didn't want to be no, you're doing it wrong. She knows what she's doing. So I paid her and that, and I was like, oh, thank her. I'll be back next week. You know what I mean? Or the month, however long after, for my next haircut. And I went home, my mates were nice enough to lie to me, oh, it looks dead good, that, but I literally had a short back inside, and it looked like I was wearing a hat slightly off to one side.
Lad.
And then I was like, nah, I've got to get this sorted. So I ended up going to Widnes Town. I ended up going to, it was near the Asda, this other barber / hairdressers, And I walked in, she looked at me and he was trying not to laugh. And I went, can you make me look pretty? And she went, why, what's happened? And I went, told her the story about her saying you weren't like a beret. And she's like, yeah, sat down in the chair and she put the cape round me. I always looked like a like a really poor Batman, you know what I mean? Cape round me. And her assistant was in and that. And they started gabbing and there was something kicked off down the street and there was police around.
Oh,
yeah, I don't know what it was. And I never did find out, but she didn't actually cut me hair. Her and her mate were gabbing, and she must have been combing me hair for about half an hour while it was all kicking off outside. And I'm sitting in the chair, again, too nice to say anything to her. And I'm like, excuse me, love, this is really starting to hurt my head. You know what I mean? Been combing me hair for like half an hour. And I'm worried that, you know, my eyebrows are going to be up where my hairline is. So I'm going to have to like gel them down, you know, to convey any other emotion apart from shock. Yeah, so, yeah, she sorted it for me there. And if I took anything from that bad haircut, it was to not take myself seriously, you know. And when I realised that, start taking myself seriously, I found that I could deal with people taking the mick out of me a little bit better, because I feel like you paint a massive target on your back, you know, and being able to accept that, like, not everything is like under your control, you know, it makes it a lot easier to sort of have a bit of a chuckle, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, you know, bad haircuts, man.
Nah, to answer your question, I'd let my pal do it, you know. It's funny, it's a laugh in it. But here's another one, right? Where do you keep your chocolate?
Ooh.
Like, if you had a 4-pack of double twirls, where would you keep them twirl? Always.
I feel like this is it's going to cause some conflict between us.
Okay, go shoot.
In the cupboard.
What?
In the cupboard, mate.
No.
Why would you
No. What? Chocolate in a cupboard? So it's room temperature?
Yeah, well.
Nah, you need to explain that.
Right, so my mum, she always puts the chocolate in the fridge, right? And she used to put the chocolate out of the fridge. The bottom drawer of the fridge was always the chocolate drawer. It just used to taste the cold, and it used to hurt my teeth.
Beautiful. That's the purpose.
Like having like a rock hard dairy milk, and I couldn't even snap it with my teeth.
Beautiful.
Mate, having to like eat it up in your mouth, like rub your tongue against the roof of your mouth to warm it up just to eat it. It wasn't about that life, and I discovered that I could I'd have to defrost chocolate just to eat it. So I'd end up leaving it in the cupboard, and it's still I practice this today. Like, leave all my chocolate in the cupboard, so I know it's just nice and soft enough for me to. And you get all the flavours. You know what I mean? I feel like when you put chocolate in the fridge, it just tastes sort of cold. You can't taste the chocolate. You know what I mean? Like, I bet. Well, where'd you keep yours? The fridge.
So say like your mum, you always keeps them in the fridge. The top shelf of my freezer was the chocolate drawer.
Ooh. So an ice pop. So a chocolate flavoured ice pop.
It was nice and crumbly. It was like every chocolate bar was a flake. No matter what it was, it fell apart, lad.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was always in the freezer. And now, to save freezer space, I put it in the fridge now. And fridge is okay, because like when you get a Malteser, you bite into it, it's crispy. It's not soft, it's honeycomb, it's nice and hard. And you get to feel it warming up in your mouth. And I see your point about not being able to taste it. And I've got a decent palate, so I see that point. But on the other hand, it's not an immediate, I can taste chocolate. It's a, chocolate. And now I can taste it. So I don't know if that's because that's how I was brought up or
how you've gone your entire life so far without having a filling is beyond me. You know what I mean?
I'm never. The only thing I've ever had done to my teeth is braces.
To be fair, I've never had a filling, but that's because I like to think that's because my chocolate has been kept in the cupboard. But I've just been
that's the reason.
You know what I mean? It must be the reason. All right, okay.
No, but mine's in the fridge and freezer, and I've never had no like that done.
Well, coffee versus tea. You know what I mean?
Tea every day of the week.
Yeah, I'm a tea belly, but I like coffee flavoured stuff. You know what I mean?
No,
I don't like sweet flavoured. You know what I mean? If it's got syrup in it or it tastes like strawberry or raspberry, that's not for me. But if it tastes like coffee, then anything else that's bitter.
Coffee just ain't for me. But what if you can get your caffeine from so many different places? Tea being one of them.
Yeah, exactly. The exact same amount in it as well.
Tell you what, I never used to drink hot drinks growing up for the simple reason I was lazy and couldn't be bothered making them. But what changed that massively is not putting sugar in my tea, because sugar's quite bitter. Sugar's quite bitter. It's not bitter, it's sweet. Tea is quite bitter. Tea is quite a bitter taste, which is why you sweeten it up with sugar. Now, what changed that for me was sweeteners. And not just any sweetener. The best sweetener is stevia. It's plant-based.
Stevia.
And, right, I love all sweeteners, right? But the difference in flavour between regular sweetener and stevia is so mad. You can taste it like it tastes like it's come from a plant. It tastes more natural. Like I'm eating a leaf that's quite sweet type of flavour. But anyway, that completely revolutionised my cups of tea, and now I can't go morning without one.
Do you remember that video? The American lady who was convinced she could make a proper British cup of tea.
She calls it British tea or hot tea. It's a TikTok, isn't it? So she gets the water from the tap, and then microwaves it for a minute.
But wait. No, she puts it from the tap straight into the mug.
Not
into the kettle. Not into from the tap. Straight into a mug.
That's what you do when you wake up at 4 in the morning and you've got dead dry mouth. Yeah. You go to your tap, you get a mug, you put it in, you neck it, you go back to bed. That is not how you make a cup of tea.
That's for survival only, that, isn't it?
Yes.
It's not even that's not for making a cup of tea. That's for you need to survive. So microwave it.
So like microwaves it for a minute and then puts the milk in. Wait, that is microwave water and milk.
So we've got like an oil slick going on, right? With like all the cream gathering at the top. You know what I mean?
Horrific.
And then what else?
Bet she makes it with red milk.
Yeah.
Bet she makes it with red milk.
She must do. And then she throws the tea bag in.
The tea bag, after the milk, the tea bag goes in.
Yeah, that's what's she making, man? That's ruined.
Horrible.
If that was my Yorkshire tea bag, I would not be happy. If someone presented that to me and said, "Oh, by the way, I've used the Yorkshire tea bag,"
that's a crime, innit? That should be punishable by prison time or community service.
Yeah, let's talk about community service. Let's go with that. And then I don't have sugar, but I mean she's putting sugar in last and stirring it. What's the point? She
doesn't even take the tea bag out. She doesn't let it stew or anything.
Yeah.
And she shows it, and that's how you make hot tea. Mate, it looks like cream.
Yeah.
It looks like she's got a mug full of melted whipped cream.
At this point, she might as well just put like whatever she wants in, ketchup now, a bit of mayo and stuff like that.
She might as well. And they say England's the 51st state. We would never do that monstrosity.
No,
never, ever.
No, right. Speaking of
worldly affairs,
what about local? Anything going on locally?
This week we had Neighbourhood re-announced because obviously it was cancelled this year, wasn't it? Yeah. So that's like an indie rock music festival. It's a bit of everything. It's my style of music.
Never been to a festival, but
never
been to a festival.
Wow,
but if and when I do end up going to one. It will be Neighbourhood because it's only like 20 minutes down the road from my house. So,
mate, I live so close to it. I was once. This was the first year, so like 2018. I was queuing up to go to the toilets, and the queues were massive because it was in between big acts towards the end of the evening, and I just couldn't be bothered. So I went home, went to the toilet, came back, and my pals were still in the queue. Waiting for the toilet. I was like, mate, I just had luxury for my toilet trip. It was top.
Should have charged 20p wees. Get to my house.
I made a mint.
You would have made a mint.
Me rent for the week. I don't think my partner would have been too happy about that. Let me tell you.
No, not at all.
No,
not at all.
But yeah, that's been that. So we've got the same lineup as last year. It's Ian Brown and Catfish. Ian Brown is headlining Saturday. Catfish and the Bottlemen are headlining Sunday. Various other acts. You got the Wombats. You got Sam Fender there as well.
Just for our younger generations, who's Ian Brown?
Ian Brown. Well. Who is Ian Brown? This is going to be... We could have an episode on him. So Ian Brown is a lad who came from Warrington. Don't believe he's from Manchester because he's not. He moved there when he was 6. Grew up off Poplars Ave, actually, in Orford. So he's a lad from Warrington. When he was 6, he moved to Manchester. He's the voice of a generation. So a lot of you may have heard of a band called the Stone Roses. If you come to Youth Club, you definitely have because I play them all the time. He was the lead guy. He was the vocalist of the Stone Roses. And he's a musical genius. He really is.
So what else we've got? I'm pretty sure not being from Warrington myself, but trying to keep up to date with your with what's going on. You got a rugby game, haven't you?
That's on Thursday. But obviously, by the time this is released on Friday, the news will have already come out that we've battered Castleford. Obviously,
hopefully.
Touch wood, mate. We are. We've won every game since lockdown. We've got 5 out of 5 since lockdown. We've got good record at the minute.
The other teams were sick, weren't they? So here's the concern.
There's no easy game in Super League. There's no easy game in Super League. Yeah, so we've got quite a bit going on in Warrington, actually, haven't we? We've got the owner of Warrington Town saying that we are the third biggest town in the UK without a Football League level team.
No.
So he's determined to bring Warrington Town to the Football League, which I remember because I used to be a season ticket holder back in like 2012. Because I used to play for that. Everybody who played for Warrington Town, you always got a season ticket. I don't know why, but we did. I remember there was posters up at the time. I've got 2020 vision, saying by 2020 we will be in at least Sky Bet League 2.
Yeah.
Or I think at the time it was Coca-Cola League 2. And they were put on 2020 vision and all that.
Yeah.
It's now 2020 and I can confirm we are still in like the 7th tier of football, so we've not done too well on that front. Yeah, but anyway.
Yeah, looking at the time, mate, we got to get a move on, like, if we're going to make it to work on time. So, I mean, it's been a good little chat, like.
I was going to say, I enjoyed that.
Yeah,
It was... We covered a lot. We covered continents with food, drink, haircuts,
everything.
how to make a good cup of tea, because I tell you what, they did it wrong.
Well, should we say goodbye to him and then let him know that if they want to make any suggestions or have a laugh with us, tip the mick out of us or whatever.
Anything for next week's,
yeah, they can at us at Warrington Youth Club on whatever.
Comment away below whatever platform you watch.
Yeah, or whatever social media we end up on. Probably Facebook.
Might be on, who knows, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's say him hi. Yeah.
Mate, we're going to be on one of them Spotify podcasts, you know.
100%.
Saying that, we've not got a name yet, have we?
No, we haven't actually. Completely forgot about
that. So saying that, if you've managed to get through us chatting bubbles for this long, leave us what you think, what any comments you have, obviously, but what you think a good name could be, because we're stumped. I am. I don't know about you.
Yeah, no, I also know is, I feel like if you're going to give us a name, don't use the word Warrington, because I feel like it's too long. I like was. I like the abbreviation was. So
yeah. So any name.
That's the challenge. If you can give us a cool name with was.
Even better, that doesn't have the word podcasting.
Oh, yeah, 10 points, 10 extra points if you can come up with a name that doesn't have podcast in it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's us signing off for this week, and we'll see you next week. See you in a bit.